June 9th, 2008, Mesa, Arizona. Police step into a quiet suburban home. The air is thick and still. In the bathroom, they make a discovery so shocking that even hardened detectives freeze. A young man, Travis Alexander, lies motionless in a pool of water. His camera sits nearby, still on. It holds pictures that tell a story nobody can believe. Who would do this? Why? The answer would turn into one of the most talked about murder trials in America, a twisted story of love, jealousy, and obsession. And at the center of it all stood one woman, Jodi Arias, the perfect couple. Before the headlines, before the trial, Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander looked like a picture-perfect couple. Travis was confident, funny, and successful, a motivational speaker and salesman for a company called Prepaid Legal Services. Friends said he had a smile that could fill a room. He dreamed of success, of marriage, of a future family. Jodi was artistic and charming, a young photographer who saw the world through a camera lens. When they met at a work convention in Las Vegas in 2006, sparks flew instantly. He told her she was beautiful. She told him he was inspiring. Within days, they were inseparable, texting constantly, calling each other late into the night. Travis thought he had found the one. Jodi believed she had found her forever. But underneath the smiles, something darker was growing, the early romance. At first, their relationship seemed normal. They went on road trips. They took photos at every stop. They sent each other long, emotional messages about love and fate. Travis introduced Jodi to his close friends and even to his church community. He was a devout Mormon, and he wanted his future wife to share his faith. Jodi wasn't Mormon, but she quickly converted. To Travis, it was a beautiful gesture of love. To some of his friends, it felt too fast. They noticed small things.
Jodi showing up unexpectedly at his house, answering his phone when others called, asking who he was with when he traveled. At first, Travis brushed it off. "She just loves me," he said. He didn't realize that love, when mixed with obsession, can turn into something dangerous. Cracks in the mirror. By 2007, the perfect couple began to fall apart. Travis wanted space. He told friends that Jodi could be too much. She wanted constant attention, constant reassurance. She checked his phone, his emails, even his MySpace messages. They broke up, then got back together, then broke up again. Their love story became a cycle, sweet one day, explosive the next. Every argument ended with apologies, tears, and promises to change. Jodi moved to California to start fresh, but she never really let go. She called Travis daily, sent long letters, and sometimes drove hours to see him without warning. To outsiders, it looked like heartbreak. But to those who knew Travis best, it looked like something far more serious. The photographer and the mirror. Jodi poured her emotions into her photography. Her pictures told stories of longing, of beauty, of reflection. But there was always a theme, a woman looking into a mirror. She often said, "The mirror never lies." Friends later said she was fascinated by her own image, taking hundreds of selfies, experimenting with poses, lighting, expression. To Jodi, the mirror showed power. To others, it showed vanity. And to Travis, it was starting to show someone he didn't recognize anymore. The breakup that never ended. By spring 2008, Travis told friends he was finally ready to move on. He started dating again. He talked about meeting someone new, someone stable, someone different from Jodi. But Jodi couldn't accept it. She called him late at night. She left voicemails filled with emotion, sometimes sadness, sometimes anger. She then moved from California to Arizona, saying it was for work. But her new home was just miles from Travis's. Travis's friends warned him. "She's still around. Be careful." He laughed it off. He believed he could handle it.
But in truth, he was scared to completely cut ties. Part of him still cared for her. Another part was afraid of what she might do if he didn't. The final weeks. In May 2008, Travis told friends he was excited about an upcoming trip to Cancun, Mexico. He planned to go with another woman, a friend from work. Jodi knew about the trip. She wasn't invited. In the weeks before, she and Travis exchanged emotional messages, apologies, arguments, makeups, breakups. Then, on June 4th, 2008, everything went silent. Travis stopped answering calls. 5 days later, his friends, worried after not hearing from him, entered his house. What they found would shock America and begin one of the most famous trials of the century. Behind the locked doors of that Arizona house, detectives uncovered not just a crime scene, but a mystery full of contradictions. A camera, a timeline, and a woman who would soon claim she couldn't remember what happened at all. The investigation, what the camera saw. The sun burned hot over Mesa, Arizona, on June 9, 2008. Police had just entered a modest beige house at 11428 East Queensboro Avenue. Friends of Travis Alexander had called for a welfare check after not hearing from him for 5 days. Inside, the air smelled heavy, like something was wrong. At first, officers thought it might be a medical emergency. Then they reached the master bathroom. What they found would turn a quiet neighborhood into a crime scene that shocked the nation. The scene. Water pooled across the bathroom floor. Travis's body lay inside the shower stall, his head tilted back against the tiled wall. His friend stood outside the door, pale and shaking. Detectives quickly noticed something unusual. Blood everywhere. Not just in the shower, but down the hallway, on walls, even on the carpet of the bedroom. Whatever had happened, it hadn't been quick. One officer whispered, "This looks personal," gathering the clues. Crime scene investigators worked carefully. They photographed everything. A fallen camera, shell casings, footprints, and a bloody palm print on the wall. That camera was a key. It was a silver Canon digital camera, water damaged but intact. Detectives bagged it and sent it to the forensics lab. They didn't know it yet, but that camera would soon talk. Who would hurt Travis? Detectives started with the basics. Who was Travis Alexander, and who would want to hurt him? Friends described him as kind, outgoing, and deeply religious. But when they mentioned his ex-girlfriend, Jodi Arias, the room went quiet. One friend said, "She was obsessed with him. She'd sneak into his house through the dog door. She'd follow him. We all warned him." Another added, "He told me if anything ever happened to him, check Jodi." Tracking Jodi. Within hours, police called Jodi Arias in California. She answered politely. When they told her Travis was dead, she gasped. "Oh my God, who would do that?" Her voice trembled, but investigators noticed something. It sounded more rehearsed than shocked. She claimed she hadn't seen Travis in weeks. She said she'd been on a long road trip from California to Utah to visit a friend. Detectives took notes but said little. They knew something Jodi didn't. That camera they'd found had already revealed the truth. The camera speaks. Forensic experts carefully dried the waterlogged camera and removed its memory card. When they opened the files, they froze. The photos told a timeline. Travis and Jodi together in his bedroom, both smiling. The next set, minutes later, showed Travis in the shower, alive, looking at the camera. Then, images blurred by movement. One showed the ceiling, another, Travis's bleeding body. The final photo had a Times, Tamp, June 4th, 2008, 5:30 p.m. That was 5 days before police found his body, and Jodi was in every photo. The red car. Detectives traced Jodi's supposed road trip. She'd rented a white car in California on June 2nd, but when she returned it on June 7th, employees noticed the floor mats were missing and the car smelled like bleach. The odometer showed hundreds of extra miles unaccounted for. When questioned, Jodi explained she had gotten lost, but the miles matched the exact distance between her home and Travis's. Police were now sure they had their prime suspect. Jodi's stories change. When detectives brought Jodi in for questioning, she seemed calm, too calm. At first, she denied being in Arizona at all. Then, when told about the photos, her story shifted. She said she had been there, but that Travis was alive when she left. Later, her story changed again. 2 masked intruders had broken in and attacked them both, but she'd escaped. Detectives listened quietly. They knew her story didn't match the evidence. When shown a photo of Travis in the shower, taken minutes before his death, Jodi whispered, "That's beautiful. I took that photo." The arrest. On July 15, 2008, Jodi Arias was arrested for the murder of Travis Alexander. She smiled calmly in her mugshot. To reporters, she said she was innocent. "No jury will convict me," she told a TV interviewer later, "because I'm innocent, and you can mark my words." But behind the scenes, prosecutors were preparing one of the most shocking trials America had ever seen. The evidence seemed overwhelming. Blood, photos, a camera, and an ever-changing story. Yet Jodi Arias would soon turn her trial into a spectacle. Interviews, testimonies, and a version of events no one saw coming. The world was about to meet the girl in the mirror, and she was ready to tell her story.